You have to know history so you don't repeat it. Many of us are poor students of history, hence our indifference to the goings on around us. I heard the story of a man who watched his wife cut the leg off the lamb roast each time before she puts it in the oven. One day he asked her why she did this, and she said, "I don't know. That's how my mom used to do it." He got her to call her mom and ask her why, and her mom says, "Oh, I don't know. That's how my mom did it." They all then did a conference call with their granny to find out her reason for cutting the leg off the lamb roast before placing it in the oven. Do you know what granny said? She said, "Back in the days, they didn't have big ovens, so I had to cut off the leg of the lamb so it could fit into the oven." Can you imagine that for 2 generations, they continued a practice that was no longer necessary because nobody thought to question it? This is the same with everything we see in society today. Good and bad practices started from somewhere and have continued because we imitate without questioning. In recent times, President Bola Tinubu has been accused of appointing his Yoruba tribesmen into majority of the political offices. The presidency, in trying to deny this, further made a mess of the situation by releasing an incomplete list of appointments made under this president. I have personally tried very hard to make sense of his appointments and can only come to one conclusion, and that's the fact that he is a victim of history. Former President Buhari, an unrepentant tribalist, presided over a government that had his kids and kin in almost all the seemingly important and lucrative public offices. It was so bad that Northerners headed all the security agencies except the ceremonial office of the Chief of Defense Staff. This was at a time when his tribesmen were being accused of land grabbing, killing and maiming of innocents, and mass kidnappings. Under Buhari's administration, he ensured that Northerners were positioned for succession in most, if not all, government agencies. So, some will excuse President Tinubu for doing the same and attempting to right the imbalance in favor of his tribesmen. But when does it stop? When does it end? When do we take a stand for what is right and question bad practices, even though it favors us? Why didn't Northerners speak against the tribalistic and nepotistic appointments President Buhari made then, the way they are speaking up about President Tinubu's appointments now? The good thing is that we're seeing President Tinubu's tribesmen at the forefront in speaking against this injustice. 2 wrongs will never ever make a right. We desire to understand that which we cannot but reject the plain and simple truth before us. The answer to the question of who am I is the man in the mirror. The answer to the question who destroyed our country is also the man in the mirror. Embrace the truth of who you are, and perhaps one day you will understand who we are. But that one day is here. We cannot continue destroying our society with bad behavior. The time has come to take responsibility, no matter the personal cost. We must disconnect the power source to centuries and decades-old bad practices that are destroying our families and communities. This is the message of the cross. For centuries, many have not questioned our religious practices, some of which are steeped in pagan traditions. We blindly followed because our parents did same, and their parents did same, and so it goes on and on. We are connected to pagan power sources we cannot even begin to understand, whilst the power of the cross is available to all those who will look deeper and go deeper. When Jesus Christ said, "It's finished," at the cross, he was making an emphatic and prophetic declaration. The Greek word used was tetelestai, which was used in business receipts those days to indicate a debt had been fully paid. Tetelestai was also used in a judicial context in courts of law when a sentence was fully served. The same word, tetelestai, was used in a military context to indicate a battle had been won. Tetelestai, victory is ours. So when Jesus declared tetelestai, it is finished, on that cross, he was declaring the debt of our sin had been fully paid. The judgment for our sins had been fully served, and the war with Satan had been won. It was finished at the cross over 2,000 years ago. But it is only finished when you say it is finished. Only you can disconnect from the past sources of hatred, bigotry, tribalism, nepotism, corruption, envy, strife, greed, and all forms of evil, and connect to the power of the cross. The cross is the place where, when you declare it is finished, it means new life has begun. It means all things have passed away and all things have become new. It means that casting downs have come to an end and lifting ups have begun. It means cancers and all forms of disease have finished and new cells have begun to grow. If the battery of your marriage has died, recharge it at the cross. If the battery of your finances have died, recharge it at the cross. If the battery of your brain has died, recharge it at the cross. When you are plugged at the cross, you become lovable. You become desirable. Kings and queens will look for you. Men will support your business. Your womb will become fertile. Curses will be lifted. Doors will be opened and new life will be breathed into everything that concerns you. Don't play with the cross. Stop operating in ignorance. It's no longer about the traditions of your parents and their parents, but about the way of the cross. This is why Yahushua said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but by and through the cross. God bless you all.